Hello, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching yet another watch along of the Women's T20 League as Delhi are going about their chase quite swiftly as we speak. My name is Abdi Shaikde. We're watching this Delhi versus UP game, and I have two gents joining me. We'll, of course, get two more in due course, but of course, familiar faces of the cricket.com family. Talking about our stats man looking dapper in his white. Good to see you, my friend. Anirudh Kasargod. Good to see him. He's written a good piece about Michael Bracewell and my team, Bangalore, and how they really can choose pros and cons between them. And a man, of course, who loves his green things in terms of South Africa, in terms of course, a lot of other things. Shiva
Money
Agarwal.
is talking about
Money, all the green things in life. These couches, these couches. Sure, good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, long time. I don't remember which was the last watch along I did. Maybe it was during the when Sri Lanka toured India for the
Yes.
meaningless.
Yes, I mean, I like that he remembers that because I've done so many watch alongs since. It's ridiculous. Talk to me about your beloved Delhi. I know. Ooh, Meg Lanning, baseballing it
20
over
of
there.
the first over and what is the chase? 139.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
they
pretty
call this a
solid start.
tactical move to get
Tactical.
Shubman and Smart. That's a joke. Is that the most expensive first
First
over?
over in
Yep,
this
yep.
league.
It is.
Absolutely.
It
Why
is.
not?
There are games when Shabnam Ismail would concede 21 in a 4 over spells. I remember in the T20 World Cup
Yeah.
final, she bowled a maiden over in the sixth over of the innings against Australia. Sixth over is the last over of the power play. Teams try to maximize it by scoring as much as they can. She bowled a maiden.
That's
So
it.
she's pretty good, but not the best of starts for
Not the
us.
best of starts. She's of course played the other game in the league and not much appearances that way. But a man who makes a lot of appearances is cricket crazy Nicks. Nikhil Popa, good to see you again. And how are you doing in terms of the UP fanboy? And you are you happy right now? Because it's been a night of experimentation. We saw
Yeah.
it with, of course, Simran Sheikh. We saw it with Sirawat going back to the top of the order. And of course, other things which might have not worked out. So far, your assessments, Nick?
Sarah was started really well, especially that cut that she played in the very first one. We felt like, wow, we are in for something. But I think the surface is slow. It is holding up, which is why you saw Talia just hold herself back. And almost everybody kept holding themselves back too much. But again, invariably, she found a way to get a score. Just the Aussies who get something to work for them somehow. And yeah,
Okay,
that's a
one
great
second.
welcome
I'm
for
sorry to
yesterday's.
disturb you, but there's a new bowler in the league right now. I'm
The
Yeah.
pretty
first
sure
one,
she's
yes,
new. I've never seen her.
I've
I
never seen
can't
her.
be wrong about
Just the
this.
bowling action was quite
She's
exciting to
like
watch.
she's
The first ball just right.
I mean, we've
beside
seen a
Shaheen
lot of
Gill.
people. I mean, not a lot, but like two people bowl their first over in the league. Smriti Mandana, of course, earlier on in the day with Sakli and Mushtaq. Sorry, not Mushtaq Ahmad action with both the arms going in the air. Yashasri, I don't know what action this is because
Whoa.
and Shifali doing Shifali things again in form. Honestly, Shifali
Yeah.
and Lanning,
That expression you saw from her,
yeah.
Shafali after hitting that four, like एक ball ठीक थी दूसरी में तो मैं मारूंगी.
It just spells youngest son, honestly does. But
Hmm.
very weird action that I can't really recall who has that kind of action. I'm trying to think of it. Some West Indian bowler comes to mind. Little bit of Vasper Drakes.
Westwood Drake, you remember him?
Yeah,
You remember
good
his
old,
bowling action?
good old Vasper Drakes.
I was 9 when I last saw Westwood Drake's play, so I don't remember it at all.
Oh, again, wide outside off stump. It's either going to be feast or
I
famine.
guess some Indian domestic bowler also has similar kind of action where he just bends off after like doesn't even look. He's not. I mean, like she's literally not prepared for a straight hit.
BRV Singh? I don't know. I'm just thinking names right now. Nix, help me out here. And hi, Prajwal. Subscribe for
Yeah,
me.
hello. Game is
Even-
done after 1 hour. Yeah, I think Shabnam though has been very off the radar. I mean, she's played alternate games, but she hasn't looked herself. Plenty of no balls as well, and definitely a matchup for Shefali, and which is why you again see pace, and you can see how Shefali is frustrated with that. So they're waiting for the top edge on the pull. Hopefully, I don't know if it'll come, but that's what the plan looks like. Would be great if
This
she can slip
reminds
in a
me of
Yorker.
you know what, like say Yashasri is just like someone bowling to you at the park, right?
One thing I would be
And you're this
interested to
professional
see.
batsman, and you're just not getting like the
I,
meat of
I
it.
would be interested to see if she can bowl a full length ball because all
Yeah,
her
yeah, yeah.
four have been
Back
short
of the
and back of a length, and going by her action, I would like to see if she can pitch it up and if she can bowl a Yorker and all.
So
those
far in the
stuff as
three
well.
balls, she's channelizing her inner Hardik Pandya, all back to the length. If you
Bowler
guys
this
know,
time.
you know. Game is done after 1 over. I don't think so. But keep your comments coming through. Happy to take all the questions. We have this boy here for a reason to dish out all the stats. Remember, it's the last game of the league before we head into the knockout. So there'll be some sumptuous nuggets that Anil will give us in due course. But of course, keep your insights coming through. I want to ask Shub because, of course, he loves Delhi Capitals in terms of the men's, but
It's
he's
a no
seen
ball.
women's first time around. Oh, it's a no ball. Sorry, we're not privy to these sirens because we're watching it on mute. So we're just guessing here.
Reacting late on that.
And my favorite umpire of the competition,
Gayatri.
she's
was
top.
the
Love
last
earrings. Insane. She's overstepped. Panic. Panic has set in. I mean, I'll bring up this point which I want to bring up
Okay,
right
full
after
ball
this
this
ball.
time. Full ball. No.
Again,
not
shot.
again.
Shafali must be like, what is happening to me? It's like bacha ball kar raha hai and I can't time my ball.
She's trying to hit too hard.
No,
that-
but I don't think she's as easy to time. I mean, she's
True.
coming it in a good off the deck. It's holding up, as Talia also said, and she's using that. I think she's already not trying to bowl fast, but just bowl into the deck first, and then
Yeah.
get the ball to misbehave. So, which is why that unevenness and yeah,
Or is it sometimes in cricket, right? Like even if you try to go really hard at it, you're not connecting it perfectly. Is that
Yeah.
the case right now?
yeah, and Shefali also does go away far from the ball. So there's always a chance of a drag on or a top edge in that sense. But when she connects, it's always great. So that
so
the
far
margin of
she's
error
not-
is that much.
Yeah, she's not got that much in this over. But look, they'll take that over after that 20 run over to open proceedings. Our panelists can Shahrukh open with Shikhar and Punjab, Johnny out. Wow, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Playing vision. That did. We'll take all the IPL ones. I'm more than happy to take all the questions coming through. I mean, we normally refrain because we love to talk about the women's game. On that note, I'll ask Ani some stats in just a bit. I want to ask Shub about if he had to take one player from this Delhi team, the women's team, to the men's team, hypothetically, who would that be and why?
I'd say very interesting question though.
Alice Capsey? Would you play Alice Capsey or Riley Russo?
He would be happy to take Lanning.
Yeah,
But
but I
well,
will.
Lanning, they already have one on show. Well, Lanning got three.
I will take Marathon Cap because same bowling all rounder and we don't have one. We are relying heavily on Mitchell Marsh. We are hoping he bowls. We are hoping he's fit to bowl in. First of all, we are hoping that he's fit to play all 14
Correct.
games
Yeah.
and then bowl at least 2 overs per match. I mean, that would be a really big help. So, I am Marathon Cap just because of what she means to the
Maybe
team.
S. Johnson as well.
Oh, yeah. They have
Akshar
some good
Patel,
bowlers.
For
No.
your
Yeah, I mean, there's some good
Ah,
shouts. There are honestly some good shouts. Now, I'll, of course, just pan to Ani and some stats because I was asking him during the mid innings the most economical bowlers in the league so far. Nick, you want to quickly guess?
Most economical bowler
In the
from-
league,
In the league.
the women's T20 league so far.
Okay, definitely not sleeping on the now.
Could be Care or Sophie. I don't know. Long shot.
Good shout, good shout. Close, but no
Are there
cigar.
any cutoffs in terms of number of
10
wickets
overs,
taken?
10
Minimum 10 overs
10
that they
overs, so
bowl.
that means we are talking about proper bowlers, not someone who just bowled one
Yeah,
over from
Correct.
there. And
Not a Sophie Devine also, who's just bowled under 10. So, drum roll, the answer is
Ecclestone or
Marazan Cup.
Madison
That's
Cap,
Yeah.
the man that he
5.7.
wants. Yeah,
The only
sorry, the woman
bowl-
that he wants.
The only bowler with an economy of less than 6.
Yeah. Time for a wicket though. Time for a wicket.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting because Delhi have both the most miserly bowlers in the league. Now, speaking of miserly, here is one of them in terms of
Yeah,
second
Eccleston.
कौन है उसके बाद?
Capsy?
Eccleston.
Eccleston, yeah.
So,
Second.
Eccleston.
And then Capsy's third.
No, Capsy got a. She got hit for like what 20 runs in her last. Like when I mentioned 20 or
19,
18 runs.
Oh, okay. That pulled it
So
back.
that pulled her down. Like or else it would have been Capsy's. Capsy's economy was before that over was 5.4.
okay, so what is Alice Capsey's economy?
Alice Capsy's economy is 6.5.
Can you tell me his? Can you tell me her strike rate as well?
Strike rate.
Oh, it's
Batting
like
strike
after
rate. Batting strike rate.
after,
Because the
after
way
last
she's
night,
batting,
like,
and if she has a killer strike rate and that economy, she becomes a really MVP kind of
Oh, yeah, 100%.
181.2.
Oh my God.
What a player!
Oh my God. And our average?
Average?
31.2. 125 runs.
Man.
Whoa!
I mean, we normally judge batters in T20 and Basra, the batting average and the strike rate.
What
I
would
mean,
you call this? Economy and strike rate.
economy and strike rate. I don't know. Extra or so whatever. Okay, let's take that one from playing vision then, because it makes you think about, of course, the men's league, which happens in 10 days from now. What about Punjab, guys, and this ploy? Obviously, it's ridiculous, but do you think there could be a possibility?
I don't think so, because if they open with Shah Rukh Khan, then they are left without a finisher.
Without a finisher.
They won't have any.
Also, we don't know how Shah Rukh Khan is
Yeah.
against moving balls, because the ball might move early on, and Shah Rukh Khan is not someone that if you lose him early on in the innings, then it will bother you. It's not like if you are sending someone like Rishi Dhawan and he gets out early, then it is okay.
Yeah.
Then you are not missing out on a big batting resource for the later part of the innings. But that is the case with Shah Rukh
See-
Khan. You will miss someone like him.
See, the thing with Punjab is, I was just discussing, like, you have finisher. Like, if Livingston is fit
Yeah.
and he plays, like, he might bat at number 4,
Yeah.
and you want him to bat till the last. That is one thing. Apart from that, you have Jitesh Sharma and Shah Rukh Khan. Jitesh Sharma, he's just done it in one season.
Correct.
You don't know like how he can come back in the second season as well. You can't rely on him as to, okay, fine, you are our prime finisher. No. Shah Rukh Khan, in the given chances, he hasn't done too much for Punjab. So like they do not have that proven finisher still,
True.
apart from Livingston.
And Livingston, again, it depends on whether he
Yeah,
bats
I
to
mean,
the
like,
course. Sam Curran is, of course,
Sam
there.
Curran is there. Sam Curran is there.
Punjab
But
don't have one reliable finisher, but if you structure their 11, they have, decent players at 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
and 8 as well, maybe. So that way they can maybe rely on everyone chips in with a 10 ball 20, then you have a good score, then you have a good finish. Still, you are losing wickets, but it is fine as long as the runs are coming. So that is how their approach is going to be. Rely on multiple resources instead of just one or two, which is also not that bad, I feel.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, and more so because look, what a shot
6.
that is from Shafali Verma, 6 or
Never
1 bounce
good
4
to her, yeah.
to welcome Anjali into the attack. Next, what's your take on this? Because we were doing a little exercise earlier in the office, picking up the possible 11s of each team.
Possible first choice playing 11 for each team.
Exactly, and when we stumbled upon Punjab, it was Dhawan opening with guess whom? Prabh Simran Singh. I mean, surely they have a better opener to partner the captain, right? Even I would take the Dhawan and Dhawan combination, as ridiculous as that sounds.
Yeah, but then I think Prabhasivran has been part of that setup for a while. So they know what he brings to the table. And also, as he said, it's the punt that you're going to take that you don't want him to bat through. You
Yeah.
just want him to attack the power play. Get 6, 7 fours. That's all. Your job is done. You've given them a platform, and then they have enough anchors and middle over enforcers who can take the score then to a very good total. So I think,
Basically, like
and
a
then,
Saha.
yeah, Saha, a Naren, or there are many such cameo kind of role kind of players who we can always bank on. And again, when you are part of the setup, there is also that assurity that you will be part of it. It's not going to be a one-off thing. So that confidence is also important. Remember, he's batted above Maxwell in few very important games as well. So there is
True.
enough trust shown in him, and if he can break through well, then nothing like it. Eventually, you want to promote the local talent.
That's a catch 22, right?
I
Is
just
that a,
want to say
Yeah.
one thing. So if Dhawan opens for Punjab, it's Danny Morrison's wet dream, because he will
GG.
just bring double Ds are in the
Double
house
Ds
or
against-
something
It's
like
the
that.
DD is opening the batting.
you can't say double D's against the double
Punjab.
D's, can you?
Punjab.
Meg
No,
Lanning.
it's not even Punjab. It's Punjab.
Punjab.
But just to finish this Punjab chat, boys, any makeshift opener apart from Prabh Simran? Anyone
I
they
think
can throw
Prabh
in there?
Simran is someone that Punjab would like to play in their 11 anyways.
Hmm.
So I think that way, if Bairstow is out, then it is why not play Prabh Simran right away? I don't think they need a makeshift opener now. And even if
And he'll
Bairstow
keep.
was there, he'll keep. Yeah, he will keep. And
Jitesh Sharma might keep.
Jitesh Sharma will keep.
Right, correct.
And even if Bairstow was in the side, then Simran was batting one down, because Hanuka Rajapaksha couldn't have played then, because they would have
Exactly.
wanted Sam Curran in. So Prav Simran was in the side anyways. Instead of one down, he will be opening the innings, and I don't see any problem with that to start the season with. If it does not work out, then they will have to chop and change. But to
But
start it, I think
but
think
again,
it is good.
now with Brasov's unavailability, I mean expected unavailability, they have one more reason. Like now, they have pushed Simran Singh, but they do not have a number three batter.
Yeah. And
Not
that,
a Rajapaksa will
and
be
honestly, that is a conundrum.
Naka
We'll get to
Rajapaksa,
Punjab in just a
maybe.
bit, guys. Let's take Sachin's question and then also say hi to Gurkiya through looks. Very good right now. I'm guessing dinner has gone down well in his household as usual. It's what 9:30. I'm sure he's done his sea kebabs in.
No,
Say it on.
today it was vegetarian dinner. I
Oh
had
my god.
my mom made South Indian, so
Oh, well done.
we
Well
had
done.
dosa. Yeah,
Okay,
dosa and
super. So, Gurki, I'll just take this question then to open off proceedings. Hey guys, no overseas proper pacers done well apart from Carp and Norris's few spells. Sure, Ismail is given the chances. Spinners have done well. Even Garth is given runs for their wickets. Thoughts?
I don't think so because you have Isabel Wong who has done really well.
Yeah. That's the only
And
exception? Or is there more?
no, I mean Isabel Wong has
See-
done well, and even Kevan has done well.
But they're not out and out pacers, right? They're more.
They are bowling like if they are bowling around 20 overs in the season, that they are.
What about
out and out
Shikhar Pandit?
pacers.
Shikhar Pandit.
He was mentioning the overseas
Overseas
proper
Oh,
pacers.
pacers.
sorry.
Overseas
See,
pacers.
I
Yeah.
think shoot has been a disappointment.
Yeah.
Bangalore definitely would have expected better of her, and same can be said for Sutherland maybe for Gujarat. Uh, Norris, I'm not sure. I think Norris has had very good games in between, and then a few off games also. So really not sure that what's the pattern here, but yeah, could just be a case of bad form.
Yeah, it just might be bad form really because it
And
or
bad form as well. And also, it's also my favorite word usage. Uh, Morris, that's a crazy shot. I don't
Sure.
know why they'll bowl pace though, but it's fine.
Yeah, why are they
Uh,
continuing with this? Sorry, I mean, is it just a play on her ego,
Hey,
Nick?
50 of all.
50 up.
Yeah.
Well done.
I mean, you can understand why they want to attack her with short stuff, but
I
I
think
don't know. The
See
target
the
isn't much.
call, lads. No painting the ground. Last Dicky there. Come on, Chandran.
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh,
There'll be lots
Yeah,
of
I think-
calls
no,
trickling in.
Getting
I
back to
ordered
the
some.
paces.
I ordered some stuff from Blinkit. That's all.
No. Cool.
hi.
We don't need to know what.
Was that Paresh Rawal on that side?
That poor guy.
Yeah,
Guys,
I think
Paresh Rawal.
Shefali Verma is just ridiculous, dude. I mean, honestly.
that's what I think. See, this is why paces haven't done well. You see, that's not always been the best usage of them. Kim Gad did well in DY Patel. So I think if you see, most paces have done well when there has been help for them in the DY Patel venue. At Brabant, you anyways don't see much movement. It's always been more spin that is done well. And Carb has always bowled the best overs that you can. So you get that good economy as well. And there is pressure, there is movement. So you can get those 4 overs done quickly. Norris is bowled in the middle was more, so more chance of getting hit. And she's played lesser games and also used less. Poonam Yadav played today but hasn't bowled a single over. So some of the teams have used overseas and even Indian players very, very differently. And so I think that's why Lauren Bell didn't even get a game. And
Yeah.
she's a good power play bowler to use, but they haven't gone down that route. So I think in that sense, Shikhar Pandey is probably the only Indian pacer who's stepped up and been consistent with her performance.
Yeah.
So just since Nick's mentioned that Lauren Bell has not played, one disappointing facet about for me from this league has been that teams have not tried their bench strength in terms of overseas stars a lot. For example, Delhi. I was expecting Delhi to play Laura Harris a bit more. She played only one game, and she did not get to bat in that. And
True.
despite Delhi qualifying for the playoffs quite early, I think they could have
100%.
given her a few
Even
games.
Mumbai with Chloe.
Chloe Tryon, I wanted to see her play as well, and
100%.
Mumbai they just kept the 11 same every game.
Yeah.
They kept
Oh,
it same.
Shefali, and she found the fielder.
Catch,
Taken.
lovely.
Brilliantly
Didn't she bowl
taken
a
from
brilliant ball
Sophia
there?
Eccleston.
ये भी shot था.
And it is Yashasvi who'll have the last
mean-
laugh. I mean, it just comes back to this question, Ani. If you were Elisa Healy right now, she just showed her kind of facing. Okay, she's conceded 2 boundaries in the first 2 balls, but was it just playing in the ego of Shefali Verma?
I think she can only bowl
She can
short.
only bowl short.
I
I-
don't
I
think she
like-
will bowl full.
By the accent,
Yeah.
like,
But then this is also where you want to see changes and better approach from like guys like Shefali Verma, Kiran Navgire.
Yeah,
Even Kiran Navgire, all season they've played shots when you feel that it's not always needed. You have to hold yourself back. You don't need to chase 100 in 5-6 overs. So, and it's not a surprising dismissal as well for Shefali. So, when she came on, we discussed why is she bowling short. So, you knew there was only one plan. You have to bowl short, you get the top edge on the pull. And that's what has happened. So, while the margin of error is as much, it's not telling you enough about how much else Shefali is doing to counter that bit or whether she can hit other areas. Even if you see her, sometimes when she plays spin, it's long on that she targets the most. It's very
correct.
rare that you see her hit more squarer or, deep square leg or deep mid wicket. She doesn't usually go there unless she's sweeping. So those are the areas where I hope spending time with Meg Lanning and others still able to figure a way out to access other parts of the ground. Because when you're only hitting in certain parts, it becomes easier to set the field for you. And that's what even Catherine Brunt did when she was bowling, that she knew what her best areas were to target. So
Yeah.
eventually, as you said, you're playing on one miss hit. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, you've taken the risk.
And if
the
I can
other-
comment, I don't think she's also worked on her technique to play the pull or or the hook, because so many times even when she gets the boundary, you see that she's lost her shape. It's sometimes coming out of the outer half of the bat, sometimes it's just clearing the fielder. It's never a convincing pull shot, or very rare it's a convincing pull shot where you see that she's maintained her shape. A lot of good pullers of the ball are able to maintain their shape. She's always losing it.
Maybe a Delhi Capitals batter problem. Who knows?
I mean, the
I was
other
about to say
thing,
that she
the other
reminds me
thing
of
which I have
Rishabh Pant
noticed
in that
with
way.
Shafali is
Yeah.
like, the bowlers could have been much more intelligent. Like, even if you see like Shreyas Iyer also does this a lot. He just moves away, he backs away, and every time you can't follow her.
Yeah.
There are different other balls as well. You could have tried a Yorker.
Like how Umrah Malik got
Yeah,
Shreyas.
nobody tried that. Like,
Yeah.
either it had to be a back of a length ball wide outside
But
off or
obviously, you
something.
just mentioned right now because Yashasvi, I'd love to see a pitch map because everything will just be like banged in, and she's acting like Neil Wagner on a day 5 pitch, just bang it in, bang it in.
Just to add to Andrew, the problem is Shefali is too good down the ground and off the full balls. I mean, and
I-
you've seen that in the last
I
game as well.
See,
No,
the
I think
thing
he's
is,
only saying that because she backs away, right?
when you're backing away, like, okay, I know she's good on the fuller length balls, but you haven't tried at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I think the
haven't looked
difference,
at all.
the problem
So
is when
that
they
is
don't
what
have
I'm
enough. See, I think the only problem is they don't have the difference of pace to trouble her.
Yeah.
So whenever she's gotten out of the full ball as well when trying to back away and she's got yob. But the difference is the change of pace has been so much that she's not been able to counter it. So the problem is when you don't have that difference of pace, that you're bowling at 120, 110 and you're bowling at 95, it is not always going to be that different or massive for her to not catch it. So I think that's why they feel that the margin of error is lesser when they are going full, and it's more when they are going short because she can always miss it.
That is there.
Yeah.
I accept the pace is not there, but to rush the
Yeah.
batter or whatever it is. But I mean, I just wanted something different. That
From
didn't
Yashasvi.
happen. Not
We'll see in the
Okay.
knockout.
Yeah,
We'll see in the
good.
knockout. We'll see in the knockout.
Like, there was no difference.
Hmm. I
And by the way, only against Mumbai these guys didn't score 50 in the power play.
Who?
In all the 7 innings, they have
So
scored
the
above
one
50.
game they lost against Mumbai,
Yeah.
the first.
The first game.
29 was their score in that match. Apart from that, they have scored over
That's
50
brilliant.
every 7 games.
And that is
This
pure
is exactly
landing
what we
and
desperately need from Warner and Shaw as well. उसके
it's
बिना नहीं हो
insane.
पाएगा.
It's insane.
No, but Warner and Shaw pretty much did the job last year.
They did the job most of the time, and they need to do it again because this time the batting or weak actually. So
The batting is
I like how Delhi have actually gotten Jemmy right now. Last time they had to get Capsine just to get the run rate going. Now they're giving Jemmy more time
They are
out there.
proactive that way because their number three has changed constantly.
Yeah.
They started with Carp and then Jamie.
I wanted
Captain.
Capsine to come right now
This is something. This is
because
something that you won't see with the men's team. The
Yeah, this
men's
is
team will have a fixed number three. Come what may.
for sure. Guys, we'll take
Someone-
some questions coming through right now. I want to get Gurkirat's opinion, Nick's opinion. The previous one, we'll come back to Sudeep Kumar's one right now, which is Shaban Ismail. This is a good one, which is a trait. By the way, Meg landing down the ground for six. Brilliant.
Such a
And Dipti
beautiful shot.
Sharma will know that she has an aggressive Australian up against her. Rajwal asks us, why don't Indian players except Sky Harmin play sweeps or the reverse? Is it gone out of our repertoire, Indian batters? Guys, Gurkirat first, then Nick's.
See, I think from I've not seen I've not probably seen as much women's cricket as what probably the all of you have, but I still feel that in women's cricket, sweep is still an option which is taken by a lot more batters than what it is done by men's cricket because of the lack of pace. Right? I think in men's cricket, what has happened is the advent of quick wrist spin and quick spin, finger spin. You see so many spinners being easily able to bowl in the range of 95 to 100, sometimes even 100, 105. I've seen Washington Sundar bowl at 105. If you are bowling at that speeds and especially within the line of the stumps, sweeping is risky because you miss the ball, you are out. So that I think is one reason why sweep is not as much of a go-to shot in men's cricket than what it is in women's cricket. I feel that is one of the factors when it comes to the men's team. And as far as playing the reverse is concerned, I think you really need a lot of practice along with a bit of genius, and not everyone can pull it off.
I
You
mean, in
still see
reverse sweep, I can't really think of Seva, Dravid. Dravid maybe a little bit. I know he got up playing the reverse sweep in the 270.
270.
Rawal Windi.
Generally,
Right,
Nick's, how do you see this thing?
Even
Because
even Sachin also very rarely used to play the reverse. There's this one innings which is coming to mind. I think it was in
paddle sweep, the lap sweep,
no,
or
but
the free
there
or
was once
something.
he did play a few to Ajanta Mendes. This was in Sri Lanka in the Compact Cup final, where I think he scored some 130 or 135.
Yeah,
At
140.
that point of time, he did play a few reverse sweeps, which are actually not more of a reverse sweep, but they were more of a reverse lap kind of a thing. He was not really on his knees while playing those shots. So reverse sweeps, I still feel are still too specialized a shot for a lot of
Reverse sweep,
players to even
especially in
execute.
that era, not a lot of players who used to play reverse sweep even then. It has become a modern day thing. I mean, De Villiers really, put that into the mainstream arsenal of the batter. So
I think
Yeah,
after
I think of it, not many batters play
Andy
reverse sweep.
Andy Flower was the one who actually used to play it too.
Reverse sweep.
He used to play it so constantly. There is a picture of him batting against India where he's reverse sweeping the ball with only one hand. His
Yeah,
second
yeah,
hand
yeah,
is
yeah,
off
yeah.
the bat. He's doing this.
Sorry, Nick, yeah, you wanted to say
I think
something? Oh, there's a
sorry,
wicket here.
it's out.
There's a wicket
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
and Jimmy's gone.
yeah. So I
Jimmy's
think
gone.
the
Go on.
the main crux where I feel this comes from is where they are starting their cricket, and what's the first thing that's taught to you. So a lot of subcontinent batters are always told to get to the pitch of the ball, which is not always the case with your overseas players. So to them, their go-to shot is let's use the horizontal bat shot to put the polar off the length, and then you go back and play. So if you see predominantly most of the Indians also they love to use their feet even to defend. You rarely see that happening from the overseas guys. I'll give you a very good example from this game itself. Tyler Negra tried to come down and cut Radha Yadav. She was not able to do. So what she did was next ball she waited and she reverse swept her. Now the thing is when you're trying to cut, there isn't going to be as much power as much as when you're going to reverse because then you are far more in control and you can control where the ball is going as well. So I think it's the options that are coming very naturally to do because where you start from. Now you take a Pujara and you take somebody else, you'll see the amount of time Pujara comes down, even just to defend. It's far more than what you see somebody else do. So he
Yep.
doesn't have he doesn't feel like reverse sweeping because he can get to the pitch of the ball and then play wherever he wants to. And there is, I mean, in India also, whenever they bowl straight to Pujara, you see two mid wickets. There is probably a wide mid on as well, and he'll still be able to find the gap. Which, if you're sweeping, you're more likely to hit maybe to one of them, and you'll have to be really very sure of where you want to hit it. So I think it's a combination of what Gurkirat said, that the pace has changed. People are bowling more quicker, so you can get caught, and also DRS plays a part. You were far more in problem. You were not much in problem when you could play with the pad before. Now it's not the case. Now people are getting out very, like, it's easier to get an LBW of the stumps
Yeah.
as compared to before.
I remember watching Test cricket from around 2005 to 2007, where Anil Kumble rarely used to get LBW out when batters were playing with their front pad. You know, you could sometimes see it on the TV screen that okay, this should be heading towards the stump, but commentators used to say, oh, he's on the front foot. The umpire's not going to give it out LBW, and all of this changed post DRS.
Yeah, I
You know, just what Nix was mentioning, there's been very few exceptions to this, and you know, one is Michael Clark that comes to mind, probably one of those overseas batters who would come down and defend. Very rare. Otherwise, the go-to shot for a lot of cricketers or batters, especially from England, and
She couldn't feel it.
she didn't review this.
Oh, she didn't review this.
And in any case, I felt the ball was sliding down a bit. So
Yeah.
there
would have
was a
gone
case
for the
to
review.
go
That's
for
fine.
it,
It's
yeah.
the honesty of Jemmy which is cost her.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
She wants the
oh,
fair.
This is
That's
bad.
how
He thinks it's bad first. She thinks it's bad first. Shoved in a smile.
it was hidden behind, right? The
What
pad.
it is bad first? She might be a goner here.
I think it is bat
Yeah.
bat first.
The
Bat.
See,
you
and
bat first, okay.
so
I think
this
it's bad.
actually,
I
as a
think it
batter,
was kind of hidden. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, go on.
so as a batter, so once when you're sweeping, you need to get on top of the ball. Most of the batsmen are not comfortable of getting on top of the
Correct.
ball.
Yeah.
So if it
Rohit
bounces,
Sharma does not play that.
yeah,
Nowhere
if
near.
it bounces more than what you expected, then there's
Oh,
high,
bad? No.
Probably.
like
What
there's
happened there?
high chance of getting a top edge.
Yeah.
So that
This
is
is
one of
that
It will be a
Aaron
very
Finch kind of
risky
a
shot.
review.
very risky shot.
This DR corner is clear bad.
This reminds me of that Aaron Finch review.
Yeah, exactly. Middle of the bat. That kind
No,
of
but
I
it's
said
something
it. I said it's bat first.
Yeah, it's definitely bad first. This.
It is bad first.
Yeah, it's bat first.
Ooh, yeah, it's bad first. Just to finish off this spin chat, boys, it comes back to what
If
Nick was
Kohli would have
saying.
been there.
It is
Watch
out.
along
Avnish,
saying
if
how
Kohli,
Indian batters are generally safe, and he brought up the point that sweep generally is a risk shot. I mean, it's high risk, high reward. It's one of those. So, yeah, thanks for the question. Shabnam Ismail, not suitable in these pitches. They need to stick with Grace Harris. I mean, I don't know how Grace Harris gets dropped. Why can't they drop any?
I mean, she's injured, so they don't want like.
Oh, she has a niggle?
Yeah,
Oh,
she has a
niggle.
niggle.
So maybe she'll just
The famous
an,
niggle.
an actual niggle, not the ones which is usually
An actual
Oh,
niggle.
pull away. There's a wicket. Yes, there it is. Short ball and Shabnam Ismail. Just when you say that, Sudhir.
Lovely.
Just when you say that, Sudhir.
Always great to get Aussies out on the pool.
Yeah.
Just brings
I mean,
memories from childhood. Praveen
I
Kumar to
want-
keep wanting. It's etched in memories. You know,
no,
2008.
I've genuinely heard of commentators' curse, but I've never heard of comments curse, which is right there, as you saw. But thanks, Sudhir. Subscribe if you haven't already.
still there. What was the
Avnish.
Who else do they have apart from Ismail and Grace Harris? I'm sure they have a sixth overseas pick, right?
Lauren Bell.
Oh, and she's not playing now. She's not even played a game.
She has played, I guess. She played one
She
game.
didn't play a game.
No, not at all.
And you know
The
you
pact
under-
was only between Harris and
yeah, Harris and Ismail. It has been that.
Yeah.
That's the
Avnish.
UP's point of view that see they already have 5 players that they would want in the 11, 5 overseas players.
Ah.
So that's why Lauren Bell is like far away in the packing order. So she would have liked to be in a different team maybe because UP is not the team for her. UP is not the team for any player who is the 6th overseas option
True.
for the side. So
And Delhi is still playing Tara Norris, right?
No, they're not playing. They dropped her for Punam Yadav.
Oh.
3
But
games.
she'll come back in the game.
come back to the final, I guess, because I mean that has been their modus operandi. So.
she'll come in Diva Patel because that's a good.
I'll say, Gupta, you want to ask me something? Sorry.
I was saying that landing LBW, if it was Kohli, it would have been out.
You would have told Nitin Menon on stop 9. Mehta to out hota tha and all that. Hello, guys.
That's
Which
that.
4 teams do you think will qualify for playoffs in the IPL? Interesting.
Should I start?
Go for it.
I will just answer on the basis of the team compositions because otherwise we know team like GT can also go on to lift the trophy with when their finishers start batting from number 3. But any case, uh, three teams according to me who are best, the three best teams in the competition in terms of balance are LSG, SRH, RR, and now I have to pick the fourth team, which is quite tricky. And my options would be RCB, CSK, Punjab. So fourth could be either RCB or Punjab. I picked
No CSK at all.
No CSK. CSK, I never
I mean,
picked
if
CSK in
it
my top
is
four.
what he's saying, guys, I wouldn't watch the playoffs. I mean, look at that. It's filth, Lucknow. Okay. Then you have RR. Then you have SRH.
I also
You
said
need the
RCB or
big boys.
Punjab. I also said see, big boys amongst the
That's
big
like
boys.
seeing the F1 podium. Would you want to see, like
Don't compare F1. I would want to see Pierre Gasly, Hulkenberg in the
no,
podium.
but like that's like literally saying all the low
Okay,
teams.
who are the big boys according to you? Am I bolega tu? Am I
No, I think Chennai, Bangalore.
Bangalore? मैंने कहा तो सही.
Okay, fine. So Chennai, Bangalore, the other big boy I put. Oh, it's a tough.
See, first of all, Chennai, I never picked Chennai in my top 4. Whatever they do, however they do it, only Dhoni knows that. So CSK, I never.
Yeah, I
picked
mean,
top 4.
we can explain cricket. We can't explain black magic.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's far from black magic. Let's not even get.
Black magic.
Hey, which soil is used in the Chennai pitches? Like,
White soil.
okay, so white magic.
White magic. Okay, guys, what about you? 4 teams. I think I'm still choosing my 2 teams. I'll tell you. Chennai, Bangalore for sure. We'll get Anis also. Gurkiat next. What about y'all? 4 teams. Oh,
My 3 teams are same as Shubh, because I also believe that they are the most balanced teams.
and that's why
Hyderabad,
you guys are Delhi fans.
That's why
Hyderabad,
none of us are picking Delhi in our top 4, bro.
Hyderabad, Rajasthan, and Lucknow really seem the most balanced. Fourth team that I see, that I think can make it is maybe Bangalore or Gujarat. Bangalore, because I think uh, I don't see Kohli and Siraj having the kind of horrible season that they had last time. I think Siraj will have a good season.
Yeah.
Also, numbers really sometimes can deceive you. If you look at Siraj's numbers, his economy is really high, even in the power play or at the death. He's been hit for probably most or second most sixes, but he also bowled 40% dot balls, which was probably the highest percentage of dot balls for any bowler. So I think Siraj will do well, and I think Kohli will also do better than what he did last time. Maybe even if he has a 350 kind of a season, I think Bangalore will be okay because Patdar is doing well. Faf has actually improved uh, since the since the last IPL.
12 and
Yeah,
14 games is a bit
350,
low.
what
Because he will
standards
be,
you have
he
to
will be
have
opening the
low.
innings as well. So I think अगर ओपन कर रहा है और 14 मैचेस खेलता है तो 500 बनाने चाहिए.
करने चाहिए. He should be doing it, but I'm saying at 350 would also be okay. So
Okay.
yeah, I think the 3 that Shubh mentioned, and then one of Bangalore or Gujarat, at least on balance. If
Okay, Nick.
obviously T20, is the kind of format where anything can happen. So
This Delhi capital, this Delhi team we are talking about.
This one,
This one, yeah. Okay, so
obviously.
Yeah.
Next.
So 3 teams the same. Reasons well explained, and the 4th is the wall behind.
Love it.
Wow.
Chennai.
Chennai,
okay.
Chennai, right.
What
What about you, Ani?
I don't know, man.
Your gut feel.
My gut feel SRH RR.
No. Say Hyderabad, Rajasthan.
Okay. Hyderabad, Rajasthan, Chennai, and out of the box, I'm thinking Mumbai.
Mumbai.
let's also predict which team is coming last.
Out of the box.
Let's also predict which team is coming last.
Out of the box.
Yeah, I
Mumbai.
like that question. Which team is coming last? I would say either it's Kolkata or Delhi.
Kolkata for me.
I'm saying, I know this is very difficult for Mumbai, but yeah, somewhere.
Mumbai can pull it off, man. Back to back wooden spoons.
Somewhere. I feel it.
What to finish last?
not finish last, but
I think Kolkata will come
the
last.
last position.
Yeah.
I would go with
10.
Kolkata.
Okay, Kolkata. Next, you. Who's finishing last?
Here, Kolkata have a very good chance. They could even. uh, I don't even think they have a great squad, but again, these are the squads. I mean, we wrote off Gujarat like that in the last edition, and they were like gobsmacked everybody. But I think it's going to be more tougher and more crazy if that is done. That's a
Oh,
good
wow.
way. Oh,
Nice.
hope she's fine.
So it's basically Kolkata or Delhi, right, Gurkirat?
No, I think Delhi will still be around 5th, 6th. If they have some luck.
Langa.
Chal.
Woo!
See what I
You
want,
are
and
not Indian or odd when you say these Londa and all.
I've literally got it from Shob, Som, these guys.
Delhi la
see
Sardar
what I want and
Boys.
what will happen is different. But I think I actually think that it's going to be very difficult for Kolkata to avoid bottom 3, because I keep saying this, their home venue is their biggest disadvantage. I mean,
Yeah.
that team should not be playing half of its games at Eden Gardens.
They're not playing in
It's-
Qatar 1 or 2 games.
No,
Maybe nothing.
no, no.
The conundrum for Kolkata is that by their team combination, Eden Gardens does not suit them at all. But financially, they would want to play as many games
Yeah,
there as possible.
yeah,
So it's like कि पैसा चाहिए या फिर cup trophy चाहिए क्या?
At least Kolkata fans can say that they won titles. Bangalore fans can't. Delhi fans
No,
can't.
the thing-
It's sad.
We have
with
more
Kolkata.
finals than कि क्या रहे?
I
Kolkata, I
agree.
guess.
Kolkata's problem-
Well, they have 3 finals.
Kolkata has 3 finals. They lost
2021?
one.
2021
Oh, 21 they lost.
against
won two.
Chennai.
Oh, shot. Talk of reverse sweeps. Alice Capsey has a reverse sweep. Brilliant.
2021 season doesn't exist for Shubh.
2021.
And for you, conveniently forgot Chennai had 4 titles, buddy.
Hey, what is the
stumped.
title of?
I've stumped him. I've stumped him off.
Hey,
Unpopular opinion. I think Dravid Bhai will flop.
David Bhai,
No,
Bhai.
I think he'll save Dravid.
No, David Bhai.
भाई home matches को कहाँ से वो birthday?
Okay,
Dravid कहाँ से
no,
आएगा?
because we had the same guy. I'll tell you why I say that. We had the same guy saying David Coach the last time out, but now I didn't read the second part.
Maybe
So
he
my
does not
bad.
have R in his.
Maybe he doesn't have
No,
all these
no.
people.
Oh,
Because of home and away, he has
Fair,
mentioned.
fair. Because
There
he
was-
said last time David Coach. Anyway, I'll take it. David was a beast in the Hyderabad Stadium compared to the Delhi Stadium. Your thoughts, lads? Obviously, you're talking about Warner.
But हैदराबाद का पिच भी ऐसा नहीं है कि बिल्कुल सपाट हो.
Oh, okay, now
वो
he's
भी
saying
Yeah,
David,
that's what
okay.
even I
I
thought.
thought Tim David.
No.
Okay.
David Warner.
See, the
David
Uh,
was-
Warner does have a good record at Delhi, because if I'm not
he
wrong,
has
he
a
has.
good Last year also
I
he
think-
played really well. Oh no. Was it in Delhi? There was no matches in Delhi.
When
no,
we
la-
played for BD, he played in Kotla, right? We go to
Yeah,
Kotla.
played in-
Yeah, he has a 100. He has a 100 at.
अपना आर्टिकल पढ़ो भाई मैंने लिखा है.
I'm saying try to understand Southern where he's coming from.
Warner has a 100 at Kotla, and Kotla is definitely smaller than
I know
the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium. So
There are
if
there are games when Kotla also offers a flat pitch. You remember the game where Pollard just romped Mumbai to a win over Chennai.
When
Yeah.
2021.
21.
Yeah.
2021, yes.
Fast drop.
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, flat pitch.
Just before the break.
No, so
Yeah.
And
the
even
thing with Kotla is
the score is not against Gujarat.
भाई वो तो तहलका मचाया था भाई.
Even Kohli's
thing with-
99. Remember
Yeah, I
that?
was in stands that day.
What a knock.
the thing with Kotla is, even if it's a slow pitch, sometimes the short boundaries compensate for it.
Short boundaries.
Hmm.
And dude, with Kolkata, it's been for ages now, dude. It's just between Russell and Narayan. If they are doing it, then yeah.
You remember that shot that Virat played like a check cover drive for 6? That came at Kotla, right?
Came at Kotla.
Yeah. At that
Around
point of
the-
time, at that point of time, Trent Bolt was a part of Delhi.
Oh, and he took that
This-
crazy catch.
This is
also.
2018 season.
That was of that was of Kohli.
Now, this is an unpopular
Whoa.
opinion. Unpopular opinion by Eric
Whoa!
Stark.
Whoa! Fuck! 750 at 160.
Even
Just taking a page of this question, so to speak. If there's anyone to ever beat Virat's 973, when will it be and who will it be in terms of
भाई
modern
when will
batters?
it be कैसे बता
No,
दे
as in like 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, your gut.
I
In
mean,
terms of aggregate,
before every test match, we used to write those weird predictions.
Yeah.
वो अभी
So
होगा।
this will go on the top of it now.
Yeah, this will go on top of it. So if there's anyone who can supersede Kohli's 973, who could it be?
I mean, that's
First of all,
see,
एक सेकंड
Has to be an opener.
एक सेकंड
No.
कोहली ने वो 14 मैच के सीजन में बनाए थे the
So-
matches are going to increase now
yeah,
first of
it's
all.
gonna be
True.
18.
So it won't be the same metric
but Kohli played 16 matches.
16 innings
16
में
matches
16
that
innings
season.
में 973 मारा था उसने.
Huh.
16 innings में 973. So possible. It's not.
I think Shubman Gill can do it.
Yeah, Shubman Gill.
I think Josh Butler can
Josh Butler
वो
also.
100 मारता है नहीं वो 300-400 ही मारता है फिर
Josh
Josh
Butler.
Butler came
भाई
close.
Warner form में मतलब
Warner.
Warner form में आ गया तो पक्का मारेगा.
Warner's come close. I think he's got an 800 plus run season. Right?
same season
In the
he
same
scored.
season. In the same season.
Williamson also has got a 700 plus season.
720. 2018 he was the Orange Cap winner.
That's right. Arshad Khan will surprise many Mumbai.
Yeah.
2.0
Yes,
leading.
yes.
SS90.
I have written that.
He's written that in his preview.
I like it.
I have written that.
What's it? Just to tell the viewers when are your previews going to be coming out?
Starting tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow is 22nd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, starting tomorrow, guys. CSK. Oh, so sorry, not CSK.
Chennai.
Which team is that? Chennai.
Oh, short
Oh,
captain.
6.
There'll be Chennai. There'll be a lot of previews. Gujarat, Chennai, of course, in 10 days' time. We'll be doing watch-alongs for that. I think there's going to be a show with Dan, Somesh, and Gurkirat with
In
regards
fact,
to
lot
all
of
the
IPL
IPL
we're
previews
starting right from tomorrow.
tomorrow. So check out our website. Check out the app. Download the app. You'll get
Yeah.
everything that you need. And right now, going back to the Women's T20 League scheme of things, 90 for 3. And like I said earlier, the league's coming to an end. What do you guys like the most in terms of moments so far? Sophie Devine's 99. There's a couple of fifers. Smriti took 4 catches and bowled today. I don't know if that's something to be happy about. But next, Gurkirat, so far, first season, the league stage is done. What have you liked the most, guys? Next, we'll start with you.
The crowds, great to
Okay.
see the number of people that have turned up, and you'd hope they keep growing like that. So that's number one. We've seen good, very first few games where you saw 200 for fun. So that was also good because sometimes there's a notion that you can't see 200 games. That's not that's not all, but it was, and you saw some great chases as well. What you would probably say that they weren't enough close games, but then that's okay. It's just the first season. You can't ask for everything in the very first one. So I think crowds, that the kind of games in terms of the runs that were scored, boundaries can definitely go ahead, and probably a few more seasons, home and away, we'll see a lot more planning, lot more involvement, and
Yeah.
hopefully less of mismanagement of overseas stars or even Indian players.
Yeah, I mean, of course, he's talking about that Deanna Doughton thing. And really sour moment, lads. Gurkirat, what about you? Favorite knock? Favorite anything in terms of which has stood out for you, which you'll take down the line 5, 10 years from now?
Favorite knock is definitely Sophie Devine. I would have loved if Harman could have scored the 100 in the first game. That would have been really, ideal. The Indian captain, probably the best T20 player that we have right now. Just setting the stage on fire on the first day itself. And I've said this before, but I've loved the pitches. I've absolutely loved the pitches because they've made for very good viewing, and yeah, probably I'd like to see one more team added very soon, so that that there can be more opportunities for fringe players. And yeah, that's about it. I'd still be okay if the matches are in 2 or 3 stadiums in the same city, because I'm not sure if there would be a window for a bigger window wherein players would require to travel. But yeah, probably one more team, because that increases the number of games, and maybe bigger boundaries. Like I said, the boundary sizes should be same as what you find in international cricket, or else you'll have to do selections for the Indian team with a pinch of salt, and that will bring in even more subjectivity, which is not really ideal sometimes.
Okay. Sophie Devine definitely for me, lads. But I think, uh,
I would go with Grace Harris.
yeah, Grace Harris comes to mind. SS98 said that. But you know what? For me, the partnership between Meg Lanning and Shafali Verma when they knocked off 100 in 7 point something overs, that was also
9 point
brilliant.
something.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that
sure,
was
we
crazy.
talked about great openers in T20 cricket, but these two are right up there. I don't know how long they'll continue to ply their trade for Delhi, but that stuck out for me. What about you guys personally? Any spell, knock, moment of magic?
I mean,
Also,
like,
one thing that I missed out on: Bangalore providing the banter as ever.
Yeah, of course, that the punching bag that we are for all cricket jokes. Jagmeet, yeah, for the men's league, there will be a full match watch along. Absolutely, not second innings, full match. And we're not making any sort of
discrimination.
exactly, it's just more bandwidth. We have more guys as well. The WPL, we haven't had the resources, so it was hard to bear with, but yeah, at least we've kind of got it going. Anisa, you were saying, what was the moment for you?
Moment probably was few of Indian batters proving like somebody like Dayal and Hemalata. I didn't expect her to come out as a basher.
Hmm.
So usually when she made her debut, she was like that slow and steady batter who was. But this season was completely different. What I saw from her, so that is one of the best things I've ever seen. And the gulf between India's power hitting and overseas power hitting,
Is there to see?
that is
Grace Harris
huge,
herself
huge
lifted
one.
way above.
That's
I mean,
huge.
essentially, that's a question that I was going to ask you. Is that the difference right now in the world game where India just fall behind to take them to.
India doesn't fall behind like that.
Just it's
Should.
not just it's
But is
a
it
huge way.
India and the rest of the world and then Australia? Because even the South Africans and the Western, sure, they have one or two power hitters, but all the Aussies, Talia McGrath, Grace
So that
Harris.
is what makes Australia great because everyone in their side, each of those 11 players are match winners.
Match winners.
Everyone can win a game on their own. और हर दिन 11 में से कोई कोई एक दिन चलेगा भाई. So
Yeah.
that is what happens with them. No one just
I've
मैं करूँगा. So that is how they operate.
And it's crazy, right? Because once you have like these stars sprinkled across teams, we're seeing the quality come to the fore. Sarwan, to be honest, foreign women cricketers experiencing our Indian matches works to see how these Warner was treated. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just salty that sometimes from how Indian managers have been with international stars,
I mean that is a
and it's sport at times.
franchise thing. I mean,
It's franchise time.
why would it be Indian team?
No, I'm saying the Indian management.
भाई
people.
तो प्रॉपर मतलब हैदराबाद का ही मैच
हैदराबाद
था
का
वो वार्नर के साथ रिलेशन खराब हुए ठीक है how can a team let go of a talent like Rashid Khan भाई I mean you get him it's a
भाई वो फिर भी यार मैं ये पूछता हूँ like even okay fine Hyderabad he didn't have one good season before that he had scored like what 4 consecutive seasons of 500 600 runs Warner and one season you are ready to drop him like 3 4 matches you 2 matches failure you drop him as a captain next 3 matches he's out of the team like that is
Yeah, sure.
that was shocking to see you can't do that
and
to a
if you
player
look
who was
beyond
scored
Warner and Rashid as well विलियमसन के साथ भी उनका इतना सही नहीं बैठा एंड होल्डर को भी जाने दिया उन्होंने भी चाहिए they would have kept Holder because all-round value अच्छी वो provide कर रहा था.
And leader, it could be potential leader, but let's see how that travels with Hyderabad because they made some good buys. Abhinav Gupta is totally Jemmy's most suitable batting position. She had a successful season in the 100 while opening.
I was actually expecting Jemmy to be Shafali's opening partner prior to the tournament,
But Meg Lanning too.
Yeah, exactly. But well, whatever, we can't find any faults now.
But is Lanning and Shafali by far the best opening player in this tournament?
and they are by far distance they
The
are
closest
I mean
that
the
comes
closest
is Jessica and Haley Matthews, but that has
and that
been-
is also
because
Yeah.
Haley
Matthews
more
has been
consistent,
better.
Jessica on and off. So Delhi definitely. And in fact, for a team like Delhi, जिसकी batting 6 पे खत्म हो जाती है. I mean, Jess Jonathan at 6. I know she has done well, but she bats at 8-9 for Australia. Though it is because Australia had a lot of stars, but then again, Jonathan does not have that much experience of batting in one situation as she has done in this tournament. So for a team which has just Jonathan at 6, it becomes really important for the openers to fire. And Delhi, a big reason why Delhi are at this stage is that tournament, it's because how well Lenning and Shafali have played.
100%. And then you
And
look at their
even I
bowlers.
thought I thought that with Shafali they're gonna go with Alice Capsey
Hmm.
as their openers.
Yeah, they had so many options, but I guess it's all worked out for them with Lanning and then Shifali. Shifali, of course, from an Indian perspective, learning so much from someone like Meg Lanning always helps her game. By the way, 99 for three, guys, 11.3. It looks like Delhi is strolling towards their targeted
They are
139, is it?
strolling towards the spot in the final.
Yeah,
Strolling towards the spot in the final. What would you want the final to be? Delhi, Mumbai? Ooh, Dipti always has that in her locker.
I
Always has that in her locker. Um, just quickly, 99 for 3, Capsy 23 of 15, 7 of 14. If you guys are joining us, do let your comments come through. And we'll also just pick the team of the tournament in terms of league phase, also the boys, just before we finish up. See a powerful sweep from Capsy, and that could be four. It is four, in fact. So the 100 comes up.
She steps down the track to spinner, she plays the reverse, she plays the conventional speed.
She's
सब पे
done.
बाउंड्री निकाल लेती है. Economy 6.5. Dream player, bro.
Honestly,
She's only
dream player.
18, 19.
Dream player and even dream in terms of the fantasy cricket options. Also, Capsy is
Yeah.
definitely today 75 points with the kids, and I think these runs will be handy as well. Guys, I just touched upon it. The team of the tournament, because the producer asked me to do this with you at some point in time. In terms of what you guys will choose in terms of the 11 women out there that we've seen so far, is it fair to say openers? There's no debate. Meg Lanning and Shafali, and then we can move on to 3, 4, 5.
I mean, it depends. I mean, if we are going to stick with the four overseas rule, then probably we'll have to stick to that opening pair. Otherwise, it could also be Meg Lanning and Haley Matthews.
Okay. I would perhaps go with the four overseas rule because that's how normal.
Yeah, that is
Teams.
I
all.
mean, you know,
Agreed.
you instead of doing that, we can just make it to 2 players per team. Cut it down to 2 players
But
per
it,
team.
it will be a 10-player team actually.
I mean, one player exception. I know that, but
No,
one player
agreed.
exception.
I like his idea, but let's just do it the normal way where we just can pick four overseas picks and then the seven are Indians. So let's go chronologically. Openers, I think it should be Meg Lanning and Shafali. What about you?
McLanning and Haley Matthews.
Meg Lanning and Haley Matthews?
Meg Lanning and Shafali.
Okay,
Haley
same
can
as.
come at 3 as well.
What about you? Gurkirat said Meg Lanning and Haley Matthews.
No, I said Meg Lanning and Shifali because there
Oh.
would be three other overseas that I'll have to fit. So I'll stick
Okay,
to
fine.
Meg Lanning and
Next.
Shifali.
Let's agree on that.
I'll go Haley Matthews and Shefali Verma.
Oh, okay. So
Ooh,
no
orange
Lanning.
cap hटा दिया यार.
Okay, but unfortunately, you're going to be vetoed here because all of us went with Lanning next. So we're going to go with
No
Lanning
problem.
and Shafali. At 3, who are the
Fine.
contenders? Who are the contenders at 3?
Haley Matthews.
There's Elise Perry.
Haley Matthews.
There's Haley Matthews who's open. There's
See,
Alice
I think
Capsey.
you
There's
can
Jemmy.
pick. I think you can pick only one among Haley and Perry,
Mhm.
and because Haley has picked wickets consistently every game.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
what
he-
about
I think it would be better if you could pick 4 overseas for each place. It would be better to get those 4 overseas guys for each of them, and then it's easier to put the Indian guys out.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But who do you think will suit the best team in the tournament one down? Do you think someone like Nat Siver? Maybe no.
Yeah, for sure, I would go for Skiver. So, like, I'll give my 4th, who I felt
Yeah.
could be part of the side. So, you start with Haley Matthews, you have Nat Siver, you have
Yeah.
Madison Cup, and you have Grace Harris.
Okay,
So,
these.
you've covered 2
So you're
pacing
leaving
options.
Eccleston out.
Yeah, it's what it is. I have Saika to fill up there.
Okay, interesting. Then Gurkirat, let's go that way. Who are your 4 that you have to have in your team? Lanning.
Yep. Lanning would be there. Perry would be there. Ecclestone would be there, and Amelia Kerr.
No Grace Harris?
I was actually thinking between her and Amelia Kerr because Amelia Kerr is also providing me with a leg spin option. So
Okay.
yeah, very tough to. I mean,
Yeah.
give out. I just wanted to because she's also batted well on a few occasions.
That is true. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that they say that. Who are your 4 international picks? Come to think of it. Do you agree with Abhinav's choices? Lanning, Cap, Grace, Eccleston?
I mean, like, I would love to, but I'm thinking how to fit in Wong in there. But I'm not able to get. I'm not able to think about that. So
Okay.
either I have to take out Matthews and keep landing, or I'll keep Matthews and take out landing Matthews, Grace Harris, Eccleston, and Isabel Wong.
Okay, love it.
From
I
it.
love the left field shot of Visible One, which is something different. Shub, anyone?
I'm looking for an overseas pacer. Are there any who have done really well?
Nat Siver,
Isabel Wong.
अरे एक सेकंड स्पेशलिस्ट
specialist pacer, no one really.
सबने मिस
Give me God.
तुम तो बोल रहे थे ना, वो पूछ रहे थे भाई। श्वेता को इंसिस्ट कर रहा था कि सबने इस्माइल को लैंड करो।
That was World Cup 11, T20 World
So,
Cup.
so who are you conflicted with?
So I feel Haley Matthews should be there, Lanning should be there, Marizan Cap, of course he has done her all-round duties quite well. Now for the fourth spot, I'm looking for an overseas pacer because Indian pacers, I don't think all Indian pacers have done well, and I think there would be a gap remaining there. Sophie Eccleston, I'm not picking her just because Saika Ishaq fills that
Fine,
spot.
fine.
So I'm looking for a pacer, an overseas pacer in that regard, a specialist one. Grace Harris also is someone I want to
So
pick.
play Grace Harris and get the Indian
I
pacer
also
and
want to
Chicago.
pick
Tanya
Tanya McGrath because she has consistently batted well in a team where Alisa Healy has not clicked, and a lot of responsibility has been on her shoulders to deliver. But I don't think McGrath has a great season with the ball.
Yeah, she's not
She-
bowled that much, I think.
She has not
No,
bowled that.
she's not bold that much. So I was just, now that Shu has mentioned it, I was thinking about it. Maybe a very left field choice could be to go with two openers, two Indian openers, Shefali and probably Yastika, and then maybe have McGrath and maybe Harman at five. You could so that you could have a very solid middle order, but then very difficult to leave out uh, one of Lanning or Matthews.
Yeah, I mean, Lanning and Matthews is a
And I
must.
still have, and I still haven't mentioned Capsy in my picks because, and that after praising her so much. पता है मुझे पता है मैंने
No, I
आपको बता
agree. I
दिया।
agree with Shub because that's the thing, right? You at least can think of 6 to 7 really good
And that
overseas
is why
players.
you cannot just pick your four overseas first. You have to frame the 11 and then you will pick your four
That is
overseas.
true.
That where you need most value
Yeah.
from overseas stars.
Yeah, that is true. I
Having
mean,
said that, she just bowled a full over. Yashasri, right?
oh, she has.
Did she pitch one right up to the
I
ball?
don't know. I think she
No,
must have
Oh, the
pitched
last
one
ball
up.
was-
The last
definitely.
ball, she slogs.
so
She slogged it.
She must have for sure. So look, it's fair to say that there are few agreeable choices in Meg Lanning, Haley. There's Grace Harris, of course, and either comes down to I don't know Perry, Eccleston. You guys let us know in the comments below. What I'm more intrigued to know are the 7 Indians that we can probably agree upon. I'll just say out the names. Tell me if it's an absolute yes and guaranteed or not at all debatable. Shafali Varma features for you guys in the team of the tournament
Yes.
so far, without a doubt. Okay, let me go batting order. Harmanpreet features,
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
He's the captain, though.
Yeah, 100%, right? I want to say Dipti Sharma, but holding on. to
No
that.
way.
I'm
way.
not gonna mention it. The other batters, Jemmy, does she feature for you?
Not really. She has done well in whatever chances she has got, but not consistent enough today itself. I mean, I don't want a player who does not know when she has licked the ball onto her pad.
Okay. Kiran Avgere, guys?
I think, yeah, why not?
No,
No.
doesn't.
I have not followed the league consistently, so I'm
You
not-
forgot.
I'd rather have her lean over both Kiran Navgire
I would have.
or
I would have Dayal and Hemalata over anybody.
yeah. I was coming to that. But Hemlata is someone who will probably bat around number 6 or number 7. But
But she
we're
played
talking
only
about-
one good innings of high pedigree, right?
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
she played well in that game which RCB also beat Gujarat. She actually provided a good finishing touch in that game where we thought that at 164 after 19 overs was probably more than par, and then she scored those 24 runs in that last over.
Bangalore played Gujarat, but when did this one feature?
So
180.
this is
they
the
scored.
same game where Sophie
Sophie
Devine scored 99.
Smashed everybody.
The
Yeah, but
last
that's
over,
the- Hemlata plays for
Hemalata plays for Gujarat. only.
Gujarat, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So essentially, would she feature in your team in the tournament? She will.
I'm
Okay.
saying
Guys,
she will.
I have a call. My order is out.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
his
please,
orders
Five
outside.
minutes,
He's got some
2 minute
food.
break.
Just to finish
I'll
up
be
the
back.
bowlers chat,
देखो
then who's
पहले
having
पहले पेट पूजा फिर काम दूजा.
who the bowlers and Seka is definitely there. Priyanka Patil definitely features, I'm sure. Would you put in someone like a Kanika Hooja? No, right?
No, Kanika Hooja doesn't bowl. Kanika Hooja
As
is a
in, but is
batter.
that like a lower batter? Six
Better than her, I would say Asha Shobna if you're taking a
spin,
perfect,
yeah,
like
makes sense. Who else is there?
Shika Pandey.
Shikha Pandey is the Indian pacer
Shika Pandey.
for sure.
Who's the keeper?
Shika
Richa
Pandey.
Sorry?
Ghosh, obviously. Richa Ghosh.
Okay.
Richa Ghosh is the only.
Richa Ghosh.
Or actually, maybe Astika Bhatia plays because she's the best keeper right now.
So I have 11 made. You can
Okay.
see how it feels like. So
Okay.
Matthews and Shafali, as I said. You have Skiver, 3, Kaur at 4, Marizan Cap at 5, Grace Harris 6, Richa Ghosh 7. That's a lot of batting.
Yeah.
Then you have Shriyanka Patil, you have Saika Ishak, Shika Pandey, and Shobana Ashak.
So all Indian attack.
They are all in an attack, and you have of course 2 overseas pacers in Marizan Cap and Skiver. And bowling option wise, you have 4 of them, 4
Yeah.
proper bowlers who can bowl all 4.
Really.
And you
Eli.
have Ali as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think eight bowling options. Batting till number 8 is feels decent.
Yeah, I think you know what. Looking at that list, I can't disagree with Nix because he's kind of filled in all the voids. Let us know in the comments if you guys agree with Nix. Abhinav Singh, Shafali, Yastika, Haleen, Harman, Himlata Saika, and Shikaya. Fair, fair. I mean, Haleen Gurkirat mentioned that she's played a couple of knocks. I think she got a couple of 60s under her belt so far, Haleen. So yeah, good to see. Okay, let's discuss about which players would come to the WPL auction next year. One player I definitely want to see is Catherine Brunt. Because there's been a lack of old age, do you feel?
Aged.
Who
Yeah.
else is missing out, Rani? Kate Cross, age.
Kate Cross, aged.
Okay.
He wants to say washed, but no.
Not
Means
washed, I won't say that.
age. Anyone else in the game? Obviously, we missed out
I would
Deanna
want-
Doughton.
Actually, Test
Darcy
Flintoff.
Brown.
Your name, no?
Yeah, Tess Flintoff or Darcy Brown. Darcy Brown could be very good
Yeah.
to watch, especially if she's playing at Vankare or even D.Y. Patil. She would be lethal with the way she plays.
100%. And players who haven't played, even though they've been part of this WPL, the fact that Dane,
Chloe
Manuel,
Karan.
Chloe,
Yeah.
Shub mentioned another one.
Lauren Bell,
Yeah, Lauren Bell. I mean,
Lauren
we
Bell,
discussed-
Mara Harris.
Correct. So,
Lauren
any
Bell.
other ones who come to mind? Women's cricketers who haven't.
Deandra Doughton, I would love
Yeah,
to watch her.
yeah.
Deandra
She
Doughton.
was one player I
I-
was excited to watch her again, but
Yeah.
Would you like to see like players like Nida Dar and stuff? If she ever.
Yeah, why
had-
not? I think
Why not?
Niladar
Aisha
and
Naseem.
Aisha Naseem could be great. And there are a lot of such names who be
But
very-
will those guys? I mean, Aisha Naseem,
too.
yeah, for sure will get
अभी
picked.
100 मारा यार उसने पाकिस्तान में.
But what about players like I don't know Bispa Maroof? No, would they get even a
No,
contract? They
Bisma
won't.
Ma Maru,
So Maruf may not have won.
Yeah,
she's kind of Jamie
more nudge in the nerd
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Jamie Book.
Jamie Book.
Yeah.
Shubha, hope all right. Good to see you, big fan.
They all are.
भाई ये
Yeah,
कभी नहीं हुआ
yeah.
मेरे साथ ये कभी नहीं हुआ मेरे साथ तो
Yeah.
I need to take tips from Gurkirat and Nikhil on how to handle popularity, bro. I'm picking you after this watch along.
Just Paytm people, just GPay people on time.
Check.
We'll take another one from Subodh's question to Avnish, Anirudh, and Nikhil. If Bangalore have a bad season next year, like the season under Mandana's leadership, would you want to just see a change in captaincy with Bangalore 2025?
24 में नहीं हो रहा क्या IPL?
So I don't think.
I wouldn't. I'll stick
Yeah,
to
I don't
splitting
think
it.
Didn't Subodh ask this question? Didn't Subodh ask
With
this question in
Messi.
the first watch along?
No, he said it for 2024 then. So he went, I think somebody asked for 24 and then they just added another year that if you have another bad season, do you still drop her? I think you should not drop your first season captain unless you are completely off in terms of what you want to bring or what you want to make as a side. So even from the IPL, even from the main tournament lens, if you saw the men's league, how many teams change their captains immediately? You don't do that very often unless you have a very clear option that this is who I want. And I don't think there are enough such options already that exist. And it is easier to build with an overseas player, but you would get a lot more in the long run if you build with an Indian. Because I think, to be fair to Bangalore, they've used Indian players better. We talked about in the previous watch along. It was just the experience players didn't come to the party.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year they will, and things will look better.
Ani, I want to get your perspective on this because Subodh asked you the
And
question
then
as
see,
well.
like I would want a change in happen.
Oh, one sec. We're getting another call here. Bookie.
Hi.
40 पैसा. Session.
Call
क्या है?
रेशियो कितना है?
123, 124. बोलो.
रेशियो कितना है?
लंबी घोड़ा है.
Crazy if we see a wicket now, just after the call.
We could. He's got the bookie tips. Has he? Oh, he's got a
No,
phone.
not one.
No, but jokes apart, though, how do you rate Mandana's captaincy? And do you want her to get the long run?
I first of all, I didn't want her to be the captain.
Okay.
I know, like, a team needs that brand value as your captain. That is the reason why they went with Virat Kohli or shot. Or maybe Smriti Mandana also. It's just the brand value. But like if you see the other four teams, you see all the players who have been captain for their team for a longer time, captaining them.
Yeah.
Like Harman, maybe Beth Mooney, I might be wrong, but yes, she has captained a lot in WBBL.
Yeah.
She has captained for Brisbane Heats and Perth Scorchers.
Overall, she is the captain, but she must have done it.
No, but I see the point he's making. The fact that Smriti Mandana wasn't a captain, but
see the thing.
she has a lot of leaders around her, right?
He has a lot of leaders around her. So what you have to do is like once you can't tell them to lead without any experience, even if you have a lot of players. So once if you're a leader, if a Heather Knight comes out and captains one season, and she shows about like how to do it, she knows how to handle the pressure, so she can do multiple things. But once when you're getting into that stage where okay, fine, I'm starting up a team, and I'll be the captain. I don't have any experience.
Correct.
Even the inputs coming from your experienced captains, it will be a burden for you.
Yeah.
But the same thing if you are some vice captain or something like that, and you will be indulged in all the conversation with the captain, and you will tend to learn more when you do not have that pressure of captaincy.
I mean, let's see how Bangalore really kind of go on with Smriti as a leader, or they drop her, because there are leaders in that dressing room. I hope that they don't, but let's see how that unravels. 2025, there will be the big auction if the new WPL teams are added. Yeah, fingers crossed. We want to see this tournament grow as much as possible. We were talking about other franchises being added. Hopefully, we can see what we see in the men's. I think it's for this. It's maybe just brush the advertising triangle and kill it.
No, one more team or two more teams. Actually, you can see other overseas players as well,
Yeah,
because it was only 5 and you had to pick 6 overseas players. I think.
true.
6
True.
overseas.
Yeah.
So I guess with 7 teams or maybe 6 teams, you have another 6 overseas players whom you can see, or another maybe 14 Indian domestic talent.
I mean, this is the problem that I hate with the broadcasters and the rules generally. They have 9 runs to knock off, but yet they will have to take a 150-second break. And Anirudh is
Paisa
saying
bhai.
it's a moolah.
This is-
Because we all have to raise invoice. Let's be very honest and fair to them.
For sure. Okay, nice
this
question, both Chavan. I'm backing UP because I don't like Mumbai. As simple as that. I'll be honest.
I wish our match would be like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm with Knicks. I think UP might just spin them out. They just beat them also in that chase. I think UP just are favorites, as weird as it sounds. But Mumbai,
I think it is. I think the problem is the DY Patil.
Huh.
I think it's not a Brabon, it's a DY Patil. So it
Yeah, correct. It's a
does
DY.
suit Mumbai a bit. It does suit Mumbai a bit more. They have more pace options. Sorry,
More pace option. Yeah.
more pace options. So you have Easy Wong, you have Pooja Vastakar, you can use Skiver. So there are enough options in that sense for them to target what has been a very vulnerable batting order. and it has been time and again saved by Talia and Grace. And Healy also, whenever if you see, whenever Grace Harris hasn't played, Healy is batted with a lot more restraint because she knows that there is no Grace Harris, and she's almost played herself through the first 8-9 overs that I need to be there. I can't get out.
Yeah.
That's not the Elisa Healy you want to, be playing in the eliminator. You want her to just take on the bowling, have like 70, 80 runs in the power play, just set the game up, which she does for Australia. So I think UP will rely a lot on her to give them the early start because Mumbai have hit teams early. And
Yeah.
if you don't do that, they have enough options to just cloud you around with so many bowling options that by the time you realize it's already like 12, 13 overs and you're still scampering around at 7. So I think the venue just probably makes it very even. I don't think anyone would have started to clear favorites. Mumbai with their losses just makes you feel that they'll be not be overconfident or complacent.
Yeah.
So hopefully a good game. And again a Grace Harris and Talia show I don't mind.
For sure. I mean,
When is Deepti coming to the party?
Final,
hopefully that game.
she'll run out Kaur at the bowler's end, and that will be. I don't think Kaur walks out though, so not going to happen. But if that happens, she would probably make up for the entire tournament.
By the way, there was an earthquake 5 minutes back in Delhi. Didn't
What?
feel it. Just read it on message.
By Delhi, mein earthquake are very common. It's like RCB losing a game. So
I just read it on
Questions
message.
listening to you, Avnish bro. Why don't you like Mumbai? Because Mumbai, you guys played earlier last time.
ये देखो याद दिला उसको टिम डेविड का रिव्यू क्यों नहीं लिया तुम लोगों ने
भाई पंत
दिया लौंडूंगा अपनी है
पंत HK. If you know, you know.
सवाल का जवाब
Cricket
Like
starting from
like
October.
Kanuja got a wicket. Let's get a wicket here.
Okay, let's get a wicket here. Oh, by the way,
Nick's
is the
prediction आया है
I need to cut out another clip.
Oh,
He's done it again. He's done it again.
भाई ये इसको पहले से पता था I'm not prediction
No.
Arre.
He's done this multiple times. He just has a knack of predicting the future. Honestly, Rita,
Wow.
Nikhil, he can predict your future. He can tell you what will be good stocks to invest in. Sab bata dega, right? Wow,
Wow.
well done, Nikhil.
That genuinely felt great.
If Nikhil's actually going to predict the future, I'm going to ask one question on behalf of Shubh.
Sure.
Shubh की शादी कब हो रही है?
I'll DM him.
कॉन्स्टेंटली कहा कि भाई
शिव की शादी कब हो रही है?
जिसका मुझे परवाह नहीं है वो तो मुझसे क्या पूछ रहे हो भाई
Charming chicken. Okay, listen. Subhash Chandra Bhatta saying Cricket World Cup. Are the dates officially have been announced? Because we're sitting here, we wouldn't have a clue.
October 5th to November 19th.
I think dates will come out after the qualifiers because the schedule's not out either. So I think the dates will only come out when they have
qualifiers
a.
will be much earlier in July.
Sorry.
Earlier
The
in July.
qualifiers will be much earlier in July.
No,
Directly
that I
it's
understand.
start
I'm
of
saying the eight teams that are when they have a clear picture on which are the 8 teams that have qualified directly. I think that is when the schedule will come out.
Yeah, I think, but generally at the top of our heads, quickly to answer you, Subhash, I don't know, I'm just guessing India, England, Australia, New Zealand.
भाई ग्रुप्स तो बताओ पहले
I know, but like just at the top of my head, based on ODI cricket in recent times. I might be wrong, obviously, but
Groups क्या होंगे? I don't think there would be groups.
South Africa.
Pakistan.
तो हाँ ग्रुप्स नहीं हो गए सॉरी
South Africa.
T20 वर्ल्ड कप
Groups नहीं है भाई.
Okay, going back to this women's T20 game, guys. 131 for 4. Delhi getting the job done, and Nick's making absolutely worldy prediction once again. And Sophie Eccleston, I'll tell you what that does. It puts her 2 ahead in the purple cap race. Remember, Sekha
Who's the
Ishaq,
second?
she's not got a wicket for the last 3 games. She stays in 12. Sophie Eccleston getting what, 1 today? She got 1 today, so I think she'll go to 14 right now. Take my words. I mean, we've seen some crazy
सही है भाई, अच्छा नाम है.
usernames. Gurkira,
एड्रेस भाई का मंदिर के बाहर
मंदिर के बाहर.
Gurkira, what do you make of? Forget the comment. What about the username first? Tell me that. What's your thoughts?
सही है यार.
This guy must be, or maybe girl. I don't want to say guy, but maybe this person is maybe stolen a lot of slippers
That is a qualifier.
from
man.
outside a
Yeah,
gurdwara.
qualify one for
ICC
WTC.
qualified.
No, but in a
WTC final qualification image.
That's what I was just trying to look at it. It's Virat, Rohit, and by the looks of things, Ishan Sharma,
Chappal Chor.
Shubman Gill.
Shubman Gill, maybe. Chapal Chor. But good to see you subscribe, please, Chapal Chor. All the Chapal Chors over there. Please. Oh, six.
Oh, पार हो गया.
Oh, sorry, four. Four.
मंदिर के
Just
आजू
about
बाजू
it.
जो भी है
Just
उसको बोला
like
कि
you just
सब्सक्राइब
pulled
करने
up
के
a
लिए.
Vivek Razdan आवाज.
आवाज तो नहीं आई.
आवाज तो नहीं आई, चौका है
वो
भाई.
नहीं, वो जो मधुर आवाज.
By the way, have you guys shot with Vivek Razdan yet? There's one more pending shoot, right?
Yeah, there is.
So कब करेंगे?
Vivek sir has been on the road for quite a long time. He was in New Zealand. He was then in Bangladesh, and then the home season began. So yeah, we are trying
I
to
think he's
figure out.
also doing the commentary for the WPL right now, maybe.
Hindi, I guess so. I don't know.
Not
Right.
sure.
Lads.
Not sure.
Stephen, are you bro? Who will win IPL this year?
भाई देखो पिछले साल मैंने जीजी को गुजरात का बिल्कुल प्रेडिक्टिंग करा था. आई थॉट दे विल एंड अप लास्ट 3 में कुछ, बट वो जीत गए. सो भाई ये ऐसे सवाल पूछे तो निखिल भाई से पूछो, उनका प्रेडिक्शन गेम अच्छा है.
SRH.
Yes, sir.
हैदराबाद में.
Hyderabad. Now everyone knows how tough it
Yeah.
is to actually not say the names, right?
Hyderabad.
Hopefully the IPL guys aren't watching this. And I made another mistake by saying the IPL. Guys, look.
But
let's
I think I've been quite consistent in that.
today you have, initially, the first show we did, you
You see, I
said,
didn't know the rule. I didn't know the rule.
Hyderabad.
It's like first ball वैसे भी try ball होती है. Okay, so first shoot is the trial shoot.
okay, winning shot from Jess Jonathan or Dipti Sharma.
फर्स्ट बॉल ट्राई बॉल होती है. एंड
No.
this reminds me of उन्मुख चंद
ये
सिंह.
क्या है stupidity? What is this?
क्या कर रहे हो भाई लोग?
What happened?
I mean,
बहन लोग.
Why would you run for a non-existent single with this
क्या कर रहे हो
equation?
भाई
Why?
लोग?
Once I completely missed that. I was like trying to listen to Shub. This is suicidal by the looks of things. And Jess Jonathan has to walk back.
Stupid.
Stupid.
As
Oh,
Joffrey Burkhardt would say, Rubish.
Rubish,
Get out
sorry.
there.
Yeah,
Oh.
nothing gets the worst out of me than run out.
ouch. And Dipti Sharma on the follow through is
Well,
whacked
yeah.
ahead. Back of the skull. It can't be a concussion job right now.
क्या करेंगे
to
यार.
bowl the last
जब तक कंकशन आएगा उससे पहले तो मैच खत्म.
to bowl the last couple of balls.
Oh, Arun Reddy.
Oh, she can put the final touches on it. Who's on strike? Yeah, she'll be on strike.
Hmm.
So Delhi will top the table, right?
Yeah. Delhi's in it.
Finals, bro.
So
Finals.
Delhi
They'll
go
finals.
straight to
See,
the
Delhi की
finals.
men's team से कुछ होने वाला है
See
नहीं
this, bro.
IPL
My
में.
name is Chapal Chor, but I've never stolen any chapal या lungi. It's sometimes lungi chor kar liya, bhai. Sahi hai. I mean, I love the cricket community we've built in CDC. Sub ke sub. Honestly, love it. I mean, I'm hoping he's not talking about robbing Ngidi, right? Robbing Ngidi. Earthquake felt in North India.
Oh wow, nice.
Earthquake was there
Stay
in North
safe.
India, but
Stay
if we borrow some knowledge from Gurkirat's experience, nothing was felt.
Nothing was felt. Maybe it's not an earthquake. Maybe it's the crackers of
Oh,
Delhi
chaka,
reaching the
chaka,
final. Kiran Abgir will do well to haul it back in.
Sky got out to trial ball in the first two ODIs.
Sornigam should put money on over/underruns for every wicket.
Sonu Nigam.
Knicks.
Oh, Knicks. Oh, okay.
Knicks is doppelganger. That's actually Gurkirat, like if you observed every time, kitna hua? Session batao, 123, 124.
Gurkirat and Nikhil makes a nice pairing.
No, they make a lovely pair. Lovely pair. Why do you think I call them all the time? Oh, that's a winning runs.
Jalaya through to the finals.
Well done, Delhi. Superb. Honestly,
Jalaya through to the
they
finals.
bought well in the auction. They delivered, and now they make their first final in the first tournament.
It took the Delhi men's franchise 13 seasons to reach their first final. The women
Yeah,
have done
I
it
forget
in their
who I
first
only know.
appearance.
Yeah, and
What
that
the
too,
difference?
changing their name also from Daredevils to whatever.
The difference is कि भाई मेंस में ना लीग टॉप करने से आप फाइनल में नहीं पहुंच पाते हो जो दिल्ली की मेंस टीम ने 3 बार करा है उसके बाद वो क्वालीफायर जाके हार जाते थे
Love it.
But
This is why we have
women's team ने
shown.
कर
And
लिया
their
पहली
first-
बार में टॉप ऑफ द फाइनल
And their
भाई
first
तो
final-
खेलना ही नहीं
And their
Right,
first final.
their first final was like in men's upper year was like what against Mumbai Indians.
2020 Mumbai
Oh.
Yeah.
That can happen again.
Oh,
That can happen
that
again.
can happen
But
again.
No, it
And-
won't happen.
And imagine like who's there? Isabel Wong.
Who is it?
Isabel Wong taking the first ball wickets.
try ball bro
Oh yeah, he's of course talking with the IPL 2025. I lost study there for a second. Delhi deserved to play the final consistent throughout the season, never lose two consecutive games, absolutely. But Mumbai, look, they're going to be good. UP, you never know. Knicks' team has a chance for sure because that third spot is where they ended up. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Knicks, I'm definitely going to clip that little bit of piece out. We'll put it back-to-back days and I'll tag you definitely. Follow Knicks, Gurkidat, Shubh, and Anirudh, all on Insta and
Handles
Twitter.
तो बता दे
We'll leave it in the description below, which Shaunak would probably do. And it's been, again, a riveting watch. And hopefully, 2 more games are left. The eliminator and the final. We'll be doing the watch along respectively Friday and then, of course, Sunday. Jaykumar, slightly
We're,
later
we're doing a watch along tomorrow also for the third
Tomorrow-
ODI.
doing a mid innings review, the 40 minutes lunch show. And then post match, we'll just go mad and dissect the series, talk about ODIs. I think Dravid's come out to say they've narrowed down 17 to 18 players. So lots to talk about in Indian perspective as well. And right now, we'll call it quits. Thanks, Nix. Thanks, Kukirat. Good night, everyone. Subho Chavan. And he's thrown me off. He's
Really,
thrown
very
That is
he has lost his job. Just kiss your job goodbye, honestly.
there is there
Cut
you
it,
have
cut it, guys. Back up, guys. Back up.
Hello? हाँ आवाज आ रही है. हाँ आवाज आ रही है. You're
See
fired.
you. See you guys.